Hi, I'm Joseph Hubbard, the Director of Creation Research UK, and I'm here today to invite you to Teaching Creation Science from a Biblical Perspective, 8 days training. In this series we will look not just at creation science, but also how can you teach science to your students from a biblical perspective. So an overview of our training looks a little bit like this. Day 1, we have an overview webinar. Not only do we look into creation science and fossils and the foundation, but we also give you that basis for the rest of the training and get you set up with the support group, get you set up with the work, help you to understand what you can really get out of this training and really lay down the basics, lay down the foundation if you like, for the rest of the training. We then delve into each subject individually, starting with what is a biblical worldview and how can you impart a biblical worldview onto your students. That's day 2. Day 3 deals with creation and science. The history of the two subjects and how do they actually fuse together, and again, what is a biblical perspective? Day 4 deals with geology. Slow deposition millions of years? Yes, we deal with that and we give you hands-on practical ideas to actually help teach your students. Day 5 is fossils. Yes, supposedly the #1 evidence for evolution. We deal with that and we also give you that hands-on perspective and that biblical perspective as well. Day 6 we deal with biblical archaeology, a very little studied subject but extremely important to understanding the full history of the world, again from that all-important biblical perspective. Day 7 we kind of expand on biblical archaeology but go a little bit further back and go into anthropology, the history of mankind, cavemen, ape men, how do we fit these into the Bible, what is a biblical perspective and where does the evidence really lie? Day 8 finishes up with astronomy. Yes, again, very little studied in schools, but we give you practical hands-on examples as well as that biblical perspective of why did God create these stars in the first place? Fascinating stuff. And it's also important to understand that these are not just individual webinars of me yapping on for an hour, they're all interconnected and there are so much more support to help you get the most you can. Things like resources that are action plans, lesson plans, things that I want you to go away and think about and bring back to the table to discuss, as well as a support group, a WhatsApp group, which has direct access to me for the duration of the training, where you can ask questions throughout the whole time, get involved, get understanding, and really do get that full perspective. We're also offering 2 workshop webinars where you can come on board and get involved, ask questions, interact, and do so much more. It's extremely important for everybody, not just teachers, but also youth leaders, home educators, church leaders, people who are involved in education in any way. It's extremely important to get this biblical perspective, this understanding when we are teaching and training our students. So I look forward to seeing you there. Goodbye and God bless.